fire and blood engulfed the streets of Anizote.
Did you hear the Wilhelm scream at the beginning?
No.
Before spreading to the rest of the Empire.
That was
Okay,
short.
well, that was very short. That's cool. We did it.
We're a historical figure.
God, don't tell me there's more. Okay.
No to death, no escape from the city.
Nice. Well, that's cool. A new day dawns.
It is morning. You stumble along a now empty back street, utterly exhausted after the most terrifying night of your life. An elderly stranger in a threadbare cloak shambles down the road the opposite direction. The old man looks around cautiously at every step, seemingly struggling to remember where he is going. As you approach him, he suddenly stops and speaks to you.
Good morning to you.
You slow down for the old man and wearily return his greeting.
May I ask you for a favor, my friend?
I'm fucking tired. Go away. You barely have the energy to waste today. Yeah, okay, I read that right. No, I didn't read that right. But there is something about this old stranger's voice that compels you to listen. A favor? What kind of favor?
I just need one blowjob, please. Just one singular one. Well, my brother and I had a disagreement, you see.
Who's gonna pay?
It's $2.50. And I want to know who was right. My brother says this world is already perfect as it is. The twins made it like this after all.
The old stranger pauses, casting a glance over the street. The charred carcasses of buildings and homes, and the overturned carriages and dried bloodstains on the paving stones.
And I told my brother that, no matter what their initial design may have been, the world as it is now needs to change.
Ah, but if you have gods who control which direction, how it should be held, or how the world goes, technically, if this is happening, and it's still happening, and the twins are not doing anything to interfere, that means it's supposed to happen. So technically, this is what the gods wanted.
Yes.
So then my brother asked me, what exactly needs changing? But I had no answer for him. So here I am, wandering around, tormented by this question. Would you help us settle our dispute, my good man? Who's in the right here, me or my brother? If you were in the twins' place, what would you do? What about this world needs changing?
So, we've got a
there's
lot of
4.
options. Let's go to the one we
5?
can't do. There's
yeah,
5 options. Say
yeah.
you would grant the world forgiveness. Nathan needs to become a prophet, so we cannot do that. I don't even know what's happening with Nathan right now. He's kind of yeeted off out of existence, so...
Just drinking his sorrows away.
Yeah, probably. You would say you would leave the world alone. We don't need any prerequisite for that. The twins did create the world, but now they ought to leave their creation in peace and refrain from meddling in the affairs of men. Say you would take better care of the world. The twins should never have been so distant from their creation. Mortals need their care, assistance, and supervision. Say you would free mortals from their lots. If it were up to you, you would make it known that everyone is free to choose their own lot and their own path to the twins. Say you would destroy the world. Oh, I like that one. The twins' creation is nothing more than a monstrous cage, a dark dungeon that dooms mortals to a life of suffering. If you had made this world, you would destroy it with your hands. Or say nothing and walk away. Brent?
So I would say that the world is, if they believe the twins are there, then that means they decided that these things were okay, and this is the way they wanted it. So the fact that they're at this point in time, this is what they wanted.
Sure.
So
yeah.
It is none of these answers that I say. So because again, if the twins have such control over what's going on,
yeah,
and that means the fact that they're not interfering with it means this is how they wanted it.
Yeah.
Or they're okay with it. So that means whatever we decide doesn't matter to them.
I think it's more like they created the world and they created the system of you have 3 lives and blah, blah, blah. And then they're just like, all right, go do whatever you want.
Yeah, it's because they decided like that's the way that turns out is what we wanted it to turn out to be.
So
technically.
So out of all these options, which one would you say?
Because
since we can't make a choice saying other.
But I'm just saying, like, if they did that, and they're all decisions that they made from that, that means they they decided these twins didn't leave it alone. They left it as it is because that's what the way it wanted. So that means they couldn't have left it alone.
Well,
because they do influence it during the whole thing.
Yeah.
So technically, they would not.
Okay, but what would you do? What would you do differently? Would you leave? Would you say they should leave the world alone? Would you say they should take care more taking care of the world?
I would have just left it alone.
Yeah.
Just because. And then like had no contact with it whatsoever, even after they died, so they wouldn't get the extra lives. So technically, they're interfering by giving them extra lives.
Yeah. So okay, so you would prefer to do this option then? The twins
That or
did
destroy
create
the world.
Yeah, the twins did create the world, but now they ought to leave their creation in peace and refrain from meddling in the affairs of men. I like this option just because it's. I mean. The twins' creation is nothing more than a monstrous cage. If you destroy it with your hands. Yeah, I mean, this world kind of sucks in general.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean, for me, I don't know exactly. I understand what you're saying.
I think they should just create it, which they did.
Yeah.
And then they had nothing to do with it afterwards.
Yeah, kind of like real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's how the people affect each other is how as much influence you should have on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you had any more than that, you should be effectively making it as best you can for the people within it.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, because this is just a random old man. I wonder if it's going to pull a plot twist where it's like, oh, I'm actually one of the twins, and now that you've told me this, I'm going to do that. It probably is something like that.
Yeah, probably.
So
because they're brothers, right?
Yeah.
Are the twins actually
there's there's a younger and older.
Yeah, I guess.
So the old man could be the older.
I don't know if they're male or female, or it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, but it's, so they can take any form they want. Yeah, so I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, leaving the world alone, yeah, that would pretty much just make it like real life, right? The gods just kind of, screw off and do whatever. Take care of the better the world. I don't know. I mean, I don't want more of the twins.
Because I think a lot of people will just feel that they have no choice in whatever that happens.
Yeah. Now I do kind of like this one because this one's more in tune with like, oh, everyone should be free to do whatever they want. Like, sure, they'll end up at the twins no matter what, but they should be able to live life how they want to.
I guess, yeah, that would be right.
Yeah, but it's weird because like the lots I always kind of assumed was just like a man-made thing and not just like a destiny thing, because this makes it more seem like, oh yeah, the lots are made by the gods.
Yeah, I think it's I saw that more of like they created their own laws.
Yeah,
the people created the lots, and they made it. Because none of them really seemed like it mattered to be. The gods didn't make it seem like it mattered whether or not you're noble.
No, pretty much everyone still ends up at the same place.
Yeah, so
it is
it's
more
only humans who think that it makes more sense to
segregate people
to segregate people in ways to make themselves better than others.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I would say either this one or leave the world alone if we were to make it, more like real life. I like the destroy the world one just because it's an unlockable.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily something I would say because I'm sure there's a redemption for this world or something, but it is one of those ones that it is unlocked, and the only way you can get it is through the Anazot massacre.
So might as well do it.
So yeah, okay, let's just say for the record, we would probably either choose leave the world alone or free mortals from the lots, even though that is more of a man-made thing. I would probably say, either one of these ones, probably. You would say the same thing?
Yeah.
And we're saying this on the record, we're just going to go destroy the world.
The last
just
one.
Because not. Life is a long road and mistakes are inevitable. The twins ought to grant mortals hope for forgiveness. No, nobody can be forgiven because Nathan's not a prophet, so can't answer that. All right, Brent, are we in this together?
Yeah.
We're going to destroy the world?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do it. Let us do it. Your face stretches in a predatory grin. Oh no, we've become Sophia.
Yeah.
If it were up to you, you would not change anything. Everything that had to happen has already happened. This world is hideous, and thus it will be destroyed. There's nothing here but suffering. Why prolong the agony? If the twins want to make something good, why? They ought to dismantle their own creation and start over again from scratch. Dazed by your words, the old man recoils in pain and terror.
Haven't you seen a single good thing in your life, in all of creation?
You respond by pointing at the ash-choked sky looming ominously above the city. If there was ever anything good in this world, it is long gone by now. Right now, the past is strangling this world with its shackles and multiplying its suffering. It is time to free the world from its past. Time to tear it all down. Bitter tears stream down the old stranger's cheeks.
I can feel the pain and the truth in your words. Thank you, Brent, for settling our disagreement. Goodbye.
Yeah, so I think him and his brother, I think that's alluding to the fact that they're the twin gods. Yeah, so... Oh god, I'm pretty sure we just screwed ourselves because he's like, he's gonna go home and he's like, all right, this one human being said we should destroy the world, so, all right.
I'm guessing the only reason why they would ask our characters because we made many decisions to get to this point that could have changed.
Yeah. Also, it's really funny because that is in tune with what Octavia was saying, that everyone, including us, will burn.
Yeah.
So, the old man shuffles away, his back bent. Wait. How did he know how did he your name? How did he your name? I mean, does the twins I don't remember.
Does the twins is gods?
Yeah, there we go. Does the twins is gods, yes. Does Gaius Tempest is commoner? You spin around, but the street is empty. Dun, 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 and then you just see like a meteor crashing into the earth or something. Outcome of the revolt. It only took a few days for the entire empire to learn of the revolt and the events that had transpired in Anazot. The unthinkable victory of the common folk over the war engine that was the Imperial Legion. The ruthless and fearsome leaders of the rebellion. That's kind of its own sentence, isn't it?
Yeah.
The ruthless and fearsome leaders of the rebellion. Okay,
it's like an incomplete sentence.
Yeah,
because it didn't really.
It didn't say anything.
Go anywhere.
Yeah,
it just like
addressed the people.
It's like the John and the Brent.
Yeah, the terrifying slaughter of the nobles, priests, and anyone else who stood in the insurgents' way. By the end of the second day, the revolt had reduced the city of Anazot to a charred, smoldering ruin. Thick, acrid smoke from the burning buildings and gunpowder blanketed the city. Bodies swung from ropes on every street. The results of the justice of the people's court, sprawled, abandoned, lead-riddled corpses could be found in every square. The events of those days entered the annals of history and the Great Anazot Massacre. But the rebels were not content. Having purged all their enemies from Anazot, they immediately began to march across the province. Hey, there you go. You're talking about that. Every town and village in their way was freed from the noble rule. As the landowners fled in terror, the commoners abandoned their homes and armed themselves to fight beneath the banner of the last straw. The rebel army grew larger and stronger by the day. So began their bloody campaign of destruction. Wherever the rebels march, the old ways of the empire collapse. They have no mercy, leaving nothing behind but smoldering ruins and the ashes of the dead. Age-old traditions burn as their ravenous flames consume town after town, city after city. The old noble dynasties are amassing their own armies beneath the banner of the Tempest to fight off this chaos. But the rebel hordes are already approaching the capital. There is no stopping them. Sophia's dream of waging war against the old world has begun. Regardless of the outcome, the Empire will never be the same again.
That might not be true. It could be just become the exact same thing, but with commoners in power.
That's very true.
So it just role reversal.
I think they're just leaving it open-ended so you could think that, or you can think, oh yeah, everything worked out. Or things probably didn't work out.
Because nothing really works out in bloodshed like that.
Yeah. The power struggle in Magra continues. None of the factions are strong enough to prevail over the others. The estates are locked in a civil war. The common folk have rebelled against the rule of Gaius Tempest, and the nobility has been shattered into feuding camps. Animosity and strife have taken over. If this continues, Magra could remain divided for a very long time. Oh, okay, so this is giving us like the outcomes of where we were in the province, so this is how the province ends. The clash between the old faith and the new continued. As the schism in the clergy grew, the people of Magra remained similarly divided. Neither doctrine has enough power to prevail over the other. So the venomous accusations and fervent disputes continue. The Inquisition is powerless to end the struggle. The strife between the faiths will continue to fester. The people of the province and the Empire will never be at peace until they decide which path of worship is the one that leads to the twins.
Not true. They just need to coincide with each other.
Yeah.
Which currently is what's happening in this world. So that means they could find a way, they just don't want to. That's the difference.
The farmers, miners, and tradesmen of Magra managed to survive the years of unrest. Once those dark days were behind them, they quickly recovered. The fields filled with imported soil continued to supply the people with food, and the Magran silver mines maintain a steady flow of the blessed metal to the rest of the empire. Whatever happens next, the province is safe from poverty and hunger. Hey, that's good. That's like the one good thing we did. and we can use all like the decomposing bodies as fertilizer for our yummy, yummy, delicious food. Lawless anarchy replaced the old order, plunging Magra into chaos. The people of the province no longer know whose orders or which laws they are to follow, and the authorities that remain have no power to maintain order. The most reckless commoners become outlaws and thieves. The nobles feud amongst themselves. Bloodshed, looting, and wanton cruelty became commonplace in Magra, and this lawlessness soon spreads to the rest of the empire. The revolt in Anazot was followed by more omens in the years to come, terrible omens that sowed fear throughout the empire. Pitch black ash rained from the sky day and night. Plants and trees withered and died. The rivers ran dry. The year's harvest rotted in the fields. Man! So we got all this good food and soil and stuff, but now it's rotting. Ugh. The earth beneath the temple split open. Plagues and natural disasters swept through every province. I think this is because we told him the world should end. Mm. To every soul in the empire, from the poorest beggar to the mightiest Archnean Lord, the meaning of the omens is clear. The gods have abandoned their creation.
No, they're actively destroying the creation, so they're not abandoning it. They're thinking, oh, they told us to end them, so we should do what they ask.
The end of days is nigh.
So technically, they're following the orders of their creation to destroy them.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there we go. What became of Dorius Auten? The Archnean commander fought with all his might against the rebellious rabble he so despised, yet even a skilled swordsman such as he was doomed when confronted with being shot in the face.
Yes, that should have been it.
The haughty Archnean became Sophia's prisoner, and so his life was forfeit. Oh, okay, maybe he didn't die then.
Stupid.
Oh, okay. I thought, because they said the blue person... Okay. He spent his final moments in inconceivable agony. Sophia did not permit him to die until his spirit and body were completely and utterly broken. Cool. Long after the once invincible Dorius Auten was no more, the corpse of the mighty Archnean remained chained to the Anazot gate. Damn. It's pretty brutal, Sophia.
So, these nobles will see it as like, we would have been fine from the gods if the commoners didn't uprise.
Yeah.
But the commoners are going, no, we uprose because you guys are being dicks to everyone else.
Yeah. I'm just skipping this because it's what became of Augustin Elborn. He died. We saw him die.
Yeah.
So, whatever. What became of Father Leonard?
He died.
He died. The leader of the new faith met his end beneath the ruins of the temple of the bodies. Remember his priest. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, he died. Cool, we know that. Who's next on the dead list? What became of Tomas?
Not dead.
Not dead, hopefully. By the time the revolt had set Anazot ablaze, Tomas Guerrero was already living a new life with his family far away from the city. It seemed as though he could finally enjoy a peaceful life. But a few months later, the rebellion reached the sleepy village where your friend and his wife had put down roots. A horde of rebels approached the village where he lived, and most of the villagers joined them, eager to loot and pillage their very own community. Tomas fought desperately for his life and livelihood, but he was torn limb from limb by his former neighbors. Aww. So he died.
He would have died regardless. So
yeah,
I don't feel bad about that.
No, fair enough.
I don't know.
What became of Octavia? Everyone died, basically. The being that was once Octavia departed from the world without a trace. Neither beautiful young existed. All knowledge of the Lateria was lost forever, along with Mila Kunis. Wow. That's great. What became Sophia? I hope she dies. Ever since she was young, Sophia had been living embodiment of hatred, the spawn of every hideous injustice committed in the Empire. She prevailed and struggled for Anazot, and that victory finally revealed her true nature, or power. Now Sophia casts her shadow over every corner of the Empire, her eyes blazing with yellow flame, eager to incinerate every army and province in her path. No one can stop Sophia and defeat her bloodthirsty horde.
Exactly. She's exactly like the previous regime, so it doesn't matter.
I really think that we just pulled like the ending of Game of Thrones, like with Daenerys Targaryen. I think she's the Daenerys Targaryen out of all of this. After the victory in Anazot, the invertebrate Inveterate? Inveterate. I don't know why I thought there was a B. Inveterate rebel began a brutal war against the Old Order, a war that had seemed utterly unthinkable just a few years ago. A war of annihilation. Sophia is remembered as the woman who destroyed the blessed Arcanian Empire and burned the whole world to the ground, or the old world to the ground. But basically the
She's
whole
only
world
remembered for like a few days before the entire world is destroyed anyway, so it doesn't matter.
What became of the Brante family fell apart. Yeah, I mean, we all know what happened. You remain strangers for the rest of your lives, which is a couple days. Yeah, because there's plagues and a lot of other stuff. What became of Robert Brante? His family fell apart. Robert Brante left Magra for the northern provinces. There in another city, he found employment as a local prefecture as an assistant judge. The minor post allowed Robert to eke out a humble existence far from any power struggles or social turmoil. His family woes, once the root of his unending suffering, were finally behind him, leaving him with nothing but bitter memories. He remained alone for the rest of his life and passed away in solitude.
But Sophia went and destroyed everything, so technically he would have been destroyed as well. So
yeah, I don't know. Maybe he died before she got there. I don't know. Your mother died. That was long time ago. What happened to Stefan? I'm assuming he's going to be next. Yeah, he died. We killed him. He was killed in a duel long before these events came to pass.
Because we murdered him.
Because we murdered him, essentially, yes.
You should have just said, Stefan Brante, you murdered him. Next.
Gloria's dream of becoming a full-fledged Brante was brutally shattered. The quarrel over her adoption ultimately tore the family apart. Her home and newfound family gone, Gloria left Anazot to escape her past and travel the Empire. She hoped to see the life of the common folk firsthand and transcribe the truth in her travel notes. The news of the revolt back in Anazot reached Gloria during her trip through the province of Illyria. She seized the opportunity right away and sparked an uprising against the crown among the local commoners. However, the province's noble militia swiftly suppressed the riots. Gloria was captured and sentenced to hard labor in the mines for life. At least they got gunpowder. But not even hard labor could stop Gloria. She did her best to inspire her fellow prisoners to rise up against her captors, but rather than share her fervor, the other laborers turned her in, hoping for a reduced sentence. Gloria fought tooth and nail against the old ways, but she did not live long enough to see whether or not her efforts ever bore fruit. Instead, she met a swift and ignoble end. Wow, that sucks.
So everyone made stupid choices to die.
Yeah.
Almost every one of these people.
Your younger brother survived the revolt. When it passed, he found the strength to start his life anew. You had given him a glimmer of hope that he nurtured within his soul, and it helped him accept the common lot as his path to the peak of the pillar. He dedicated the rest of his life to prayer, toil, and humility. The suffering he had endured in his spiritual quest became the foundation of his faith. When the end came, Nathan departed to the twins' final judgment without fear. Alright, that's not bad for him. He died living life free, I guess. What happened to Gregor Brante? He died many, many years ago.
Chapter 2.
Yeah, not even in the afterlife did Gregor Brante see the realization of his great dream. His descendants failed to have the Brante name ennobled by the sword. The Brante bloodline was denied its chance to become one of the Empire's most eminent dynasties. The blood tide ushered in by Gregor Brante would never have another chance at immortality. Cool.
Nobody's noble. Any of the other nobles pretty much all died.
Ooh, what became of us? Side by side with Sophia, you began the march against the old ways, and the rebellious hordes followed you. No one remembered your old name any longer, but your new name instilled terror in every corner of the Empire. The Butcher of Anazot. The cruelty with which you dispatched your enemies became the stuff of legend. Along the way, you faced many powerful foes and crushed them all, free from the fear of death, unafraid of the twins' judgment. Again and again, you emerged from the flames to bring the common folk the freedom they so coveted, and they fought for you until they bled their last. You, the Butcher of Anazot, became a flame that incinerated the monstrous, decrepit husk of an empire until nothing remained. But it was not your fate to see whether or not a new world would rise from the ashes of the old. So ends the life and suffering of Brante Brante. Dun dun dun! Oh my god, Brent, we did it. True death. The hour of your death has come. Your soul has left your body, never to return. This looks like the old dude,
but
the old man that we hung out with at the end. This looks like him. I don't think they're too happy with us.
They don't even show that, like, whether or not he ended up having kids or afterwards, or like,
I don't think we did.
Got together with Sophia.
I'm sure we boned a lot, but I don't think there was any. I think they would have said if we had kids. I would assume that means we don't.
By the looks of this, is like he lived a long life.
Yeah. We lived a long life, and we used protection. Yeah. You were taken to the peak of the Shining Pillar.
And like a celibate for the rest of your life, apparently.
Every moment separates you more and more from the mortal realm. The link that once bound you to it is gone forever. You look up to see two divine visages. Visages. How do you say that? Visages. Sausages. Watching you intently. The elder twin gazes upon you, full of sorrow and compassion. The younger examines you dispassionately. There we go. Seeing your every act and thought. You have ascended from the mortal realm. From here, you are but one step away from partaking in eternal bliss atop the peak of the Shining Pillar. But first, you must be judged by them, just as every other soul born in this world has been judged since time immemorial. Only their judgment can decide whether you deserve to remain atop the peak or be hurled down to the foot.
This is stupid. It's like, I don't believe in these gods, but they judge me anyways.
Well, yeah, because the gods are a fact, right? We decided that. Yeah, no matter what, doesn't matter if you believe in them or not, you're going to get to this point.
Right. But there are other gods, so if you don't really care for these gods, you just get judged by other gods, and
you don't unless you're like the Latari and you go through this ritual of doing that. Every single person goes through the twins. They might want to believe in another god, but at the end of the day, this is what happens because the twins are the one that created the world. Like that is a fact that they are the ones who created it. Yeah.
They said that they showed up to a world.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's like they created it, they showed up.
But they're saying that the world existed before the gods.
Yeah.
So technically, they only created the people, not the world.
Okay, then the world is there, but they created the people, but then the people that were created still follow this. They did screw up some of the lore in this thing. I think it's just a little confused. I think they just had different people writing different parts and didn't have time to, make sure everyone's story was correct. Anyway, you stand before the twins. Your very essence is laid bare before them, all the secrets of your inner self revealed in full. Your soul is like an open book to them, one that preserves the story of your entire life. You lie prostrate before the gods. The time has come to take responsibility for your mortal life. And the elder twin asks, are you thankful to the gods for the life you lived? We are thankful. We're glad it's over. I honestly am glad for that. You refuse to submit to them. You despise them. You regret it. Or you are calm. I'm glad it's over.
I would say you're calm, but then when you highlighted it, it says you accept it. It's like
you staunchly accept everything that has happened to you in the world the twins created. Your life was your life.
That works too. That works.
I'm just glad it's over.
I would refuse to submit to them.
No, we're not going to submit or.
You refuse to. Your gratitude towards these. Okay, so they created you and your world, you and all the people's lives.
Yeah.
But, they did not create the world that it existed on.
Yeah. So the world was created from whatever the Big Bang Theory or something. That's why
you were forced to go through them because they're the ones who created you.
Yeah, we're basically the Sims.
But the Latari can exist in those creations because they are an outside
because they're Arcanians and they do their own shit. I don't know if the twins I don't think created the Arcanians.
So that means
I think some other Latari or some other god or something created the Arcanians.
They created them, left them over, and they're like, "Oh, you take care of them, twins."
Yeah, exactly. So okay, Brent, what are we doing?
Either you're glad it's over or you're calm.
Your life was agony. You were happy to end the mortal existence and leave it behind. Honestly, it was pretty agony. It was pretty...
I'd say more calm.
I mean, I would say it's calm, too. I'm just glad this game is over.
Yeah.
All right. You staunchly accept everything that happened to you in the world the twins created. Your life was your life. Let's do it. True death. They hear your answer. Compassion and remorse. Oh, wait. Technically, we made a decision. So, Brent, you should technically do this.
They hear your answer. Compassion and remorse fill the immeasurably deep eyes of the elder twin. He turns to face his divine brother, who returns his gaze with the expression of stern remorse.
Oh, yeah. Next one.
The elder twin asked once more, what was your life to you?
Struggle, suffering, toil, enlightenment, service, creation, or empathy. What was our life? It's a lot of struggling.
How did it define these things? Your life was focused.
Okay, your life was a struggle for your beliefs. You spent your life staunchly enduring despair, hardship, and grief. You spent your life diligently doing your duty. I mean, we did that. That's pretty accurate for what we did.
Accurate.
Your life was focused on learning about the world and its truths. Your life was spent in service to others, or you created something new, something the world has never seen before. Or your life was dedicated to other people and your relationships with them. You changed them and they changed you.
I'd say toil.
Toil? Let's do it.
Yeah, because we did our job regardless of what made us.
Yeah.
Our justice was high.
The elder twin bows his head warily, considering your response, but the stern visage of the younger already looms above you. Human by the name of Brant, what did you live for? Principles, there's nothing more important than living by your beliefs. Freedom, you lived for the sake of freedom, both for yourself and others. Power, you sought to shape the world and bend it to your will. You lived to make other people's lives better. You strove to gain a better understanding of the twins and find your own path to them. More than anything else, you wanted to find happiness and joy for yourself, your family, and those around you, or you yearned to do a great deed that would outlive you.
Principles.
There's nothing more important than living by your beliefs. What did we live for?
We made decisions to keep things as balanced as possible because we kept everything down the middle.
We could say power then. Bend it to our will in a sense.
We didn't really throughout up until end of chapter 4. We mostly made decisions to help
other people,
the judging, like the fair judgment.
Yeah. Well, then we could say a cause.
But as soon as chapter 5 hit, it's like you have to be one or the other. Either against or for this fight.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, once we picked one, it's can't really
exactly
back down from it.
What are you thinking then? Cause, principles?
I say principles.
Principles? Okay, let's do principles. Is that the last decision? Holy crap, there's just so much of those.
Nope. The younger's gaze lingers on your bare, defenseless soul. The defined figure continues to its stern interrogation.
No, what did you leave behind? This game. I want to leave it behind, please. Change. You blazed a trail of change that will long outlive you. You brought it to an immortal realm. You believe in something and it changed the world. You provided for your family and bloodline and gave it a future. No, we didn't. You have become an important part of history of the Empire. Your achievements will live on. Nothing. We left a mark on...
We left no change. So I'd say there was no change.
There's no change. We murdered a shit ton of people, and we got Arcanians basically destroyed.
And reversed the role of what's happening, so nothing changed there. It just who's in power for the same thing. So I think nothing...
You left no mark in the mortal realm, but we're known as like the Butcher of Anazad. I feel like we made some sort of impact on it.
The only impact we really left is just the reversal of who's in charge. It's not... We didn't really do much.
I feel like legacy is more in general, because now we're like famous. You have become an important part of the history of the Empire. Now, important doesn't necessarily mean good.
Yeah.
It just means that we're known as the Butcher of Anazad. I feel like that's some sort of legacy. Personally.
I'm thinking more in like... I guess you're thinking more in terms of like personal legacy.
I'm not thinking of
personal
like
change. And for me, I'm thinking more like what they've done in the world, which was there was no change. There was nothing.
Well,
that he left nothing behind that was like... that was actually meaningful to the world. It just didn't change the world itself. It didn't change. It didn't change any change or order or doctrine or home. His legacy is not really different from another person's legacy. He's basically now viewed as an Arcanian, as equal to an Arcanian's role in that current term now, right? So like he's like, because he's a massacring person,
the Butcher of Anazad.
He basically has the role of what an Arcanian has. It was like as being like the controlling type of being.
Yeah.
So I guess you could say legacy, but I think he literally left no positive or negative change in the mortal realm.
Okay.
That's why I say nothing, is because he left no mark that would work in either way. Because if he wasn't the one to be the Butcher,
then somebody
Somebody
else
else
would have
would've
been,
just
or
been
Sophia
there.
would have been.
If we fled at that one point,
Yeah.
it would.
Well, then it
somebody
definitely wouldn't have been nothing. There definitely would have been nothing then. The younger twin now moves towards you with clear intent, poised to render his judgment, but the twin restrains his brother with a gesture. Holy crap, end this game, please.
Divine voice fills you once. Okay.
Did your life make the world we made better or more perfect? I don't know.
It did not change.
It cannot be changed, nor mortal can ever improve the world, only the twins have this power.
That's stupid.
It did not become better. It became better. It became worse, or you do not know.
That I would say it's more or less for not me to judge, but from the actions that we made, it did not become better. I just don't think it became better.
You failed to change the fate of the world for the better.
It's stupid because all of this means that you are the deciding change of this world.
Yeah.
Basically, the gods give you the power of gods to do this, and you weren't notified that you could be changing everything. Otherwise, things would have changed differently if you knew.
True.
So it did not become better because the gods failed in telling you that you could change things for the better.
Yeah.
The younger twin is silent, his eyes, two swords piercing your soul. The elder twin speaks to you again, but you already know the question. The very same question has caused so much suffering shortly before your true and final death. What determined your destiny?
Yourself? It's always been yours to live. You made your own destiny, a higher power, forged by greater power, or power greater than your own will. The world around you, your path was charted for you by the people, the age, and the society which you lived, or no one. Destiny does not exist. Human life is an exercise in chance. It is not governed by any laws.
I think no one, but that's just me.
Yeah, let's go with no one then. I you know what? I'm so done this game. I'm like, sure, whatever. I don't care. The twin gods exchange a glance that lasts a brief moment and all eternity. Then the hand of the elder twin reaches out to you, glowing with light and warmth. The gods offer you an unprecedented opportunity to change your destiny, to rewrite the book of your life. Would you like to take a different path? What? This is basically saying we can go back and change the past. Do we want to try and do that?
Based on all the answers I've been given, that means even if I did pick a different path, things would not turn out any better. So what's the point?
Honestly, I think we should go no. Your life is over. You will face whatever waits you with no regrets. Meaning we don't get taken back for a different... You reject the hand of the elder. The immense divine silhouette withdraws in sorrow. The younger twin steps forward, leaving you to face his law alone. The twin's judgment is nearing its end. Please end. I love this game. It's really good, but it just...
doesn't end.
Just doesn't end. The soul of a man named Brent lies prostrate at your feet.
No,
Butcher. The butcher, whatever. You have witnessed their entire life, known his every act, seen his every thought and desire. No other soul could ever walk the same path. So many difficult choices, so many emotions, so much pain. Another soul awaits your judgment. You know no mercy, nor does your brother. Every mortal must walk the path chosen for him to the very end. Those who abide by the precepts set forth by you and your brother shall return to you and become part of you. Those who reject you shall know the eternal suffering of oblivion. So did we just become God? Like, is us the player becoming now in the perspective of one of the twins? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah.
So technically we were the twins making him do all these decisions?
So basically we were like among the gods, and we were just kind of like, I gotta fuck with your your creation twins.
Pretty much. Where does the name
and never
Brant...
tell them that we're gonna be screwing around and meddling in your affairs.
Where does the man named Brent belong?
Peak.
Eternal bliss or condemned to eternal suffering?
I think we did really well right up until the end of chapter 4, and then they you either become a
murderer or you somehow end it
you
peacefully.
just murdered.
Well, we had options, I guess, to make it peaceful, but it was only based on previous decisions in other chapters to make it peaceful. What are you thinking?
I think peak of the pillar.
Yeah, I don't want to be condemned forever. You gingerly grasp a fragile soul, lift it up, and turn to the face of the other brother. You lift your sword, your brother stands in an akimbo, ready for the blow. The blade slices through his chest, blinding light gushes from the gash. You bring the minuscule soul to your brother's chest, and it dissolves in the stream's light, shimmering luminescence. A tiny fragment of your shared creation has rejoined the whole. The man named Brant is no more. There is only the eternal fount in which he now abides. And we're done. Is that it? Oh my gosh, the chronic life of Brant. Wow. So this is everything we did.
Yeah.
We saved Sophia. Dang, dude, we did a lot. I can't believe this was like 45 episodes long. Potentially 46 because we've been recording for like another hour and a half, 2 hours at this point. But dang, dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
4.
Dang. I'm so happy we're done this. I'm so glad we finished this. Holy crap. We made a lot of decisions. What was the first decision we made?
A lot of the decisions near the end were like out of basically a lot of the decisions up until like midway of chapter 4 were in control, in like close enough to the decisions that we made. There's like, oh, we decided this. All right, it got a little off the rails because somebody else decided something else to go against it. But all right,
Yeah.
And then near the end of chapter 4, it's like, I made this decision. Now you decided to destroy people. Like what? I said I wanted to like not be a part of it, not destroy them.
Yeah.
And then it just, a lot of it just felt like not part of what my decisions were.
It's like they got the general gist of what you wanted, but then they added their own specifics.
It's like, oh, you picked this? Well, this also comes with it, but we never told you that.
Yeah.
And it feels like I didn't choose to do this. I didn't choose my character to feel this way about this situation.
Yeah.
Basically, like, you become you massacre these people. All right, you enjoy this. Like, no, I don't enjoy it. I just thought it would be a better decision to help whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, now you enjoy. Now your character.
Now you love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I don't know. I mean, you also have to remember, and I guess that is something to think about, is that I mean, there are already so many different choices and options that I'm sure certain decisions might not be able to encapsulate everything that we're thinking, right? And so they have to make like, okay, most people might be thinking this at this point, so let's spin it in this direction, right? Because, I mean, there's only however many certain decisions there are, and they can't come up with text for every single thing. It's like, for instance, the decision of killing people, right? They just assume, okay, yeah, killing people, you're choosing this decision, so you obviously must be okay with it, which means you might somewhat enjoy it. Rather than somebody's like, oh, I have to kill these people, but it's more because I don't want to do something else. Like, I think they think of it more as like decisions as like, you know, you want to do this decision, and this is probably what you're feeling. Yeah. Based on like just because there's only so much I guess the game creators can do in this sense. I also think this game was a little bit easier ever since they did that update, because remember, like, it was like a quarter of the way through they actually updated this game, and they made some of the skill checks easier to go through, and so that's why Enoch was really surprised that we ended up getting to chapter 5 because he said there is a scene where you do essentially, I think Gaius Tempest like kills you because you are like you lose your career and then you get like shit on or something, and then you die. But there is a whole scene for it. But I guess we got just past the threshold of it of getting into the point where we got career 0, but we were just right past it, so we were okay.
Yeah,
and we didn't lose our career. Thank you, dear player, for living through the life and suffering of Sir Brant, or Sir Brent Brant, in times of the fall of the blessed Arcanian Empire. Well, thanks again for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for watching 45 episodes of this. I didn't think this was going to be that long.
No.
But it was really good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It sparked some good debates, I think.
Yeah.
Made us think about society and life and comparing it and contrasting it to other things, and it was fun. It was good. It was very good.
And in the end, I come to the conclusion, it's like, all right, the commoners all got together, and we're like, all right, let's all kill ourselves until the point where we cannot respawn, and then leave the nobles and the Arcanians to deal with all the stuff that we commoners are supposed to do.
Yeah.
On their own.
Pretty much. I think no matter how you cut it, life sucks in this time.
Because if they did that, they knew they were going to the twins, so, and it was constant like being shit on by all these nobles and Arcanians. If you took that away from them, you would no longer be suffering like you are dealing with constantly, and you would have ended everything. It would have ended problems of these specific people because they knew the afterlife existed, and they have proof and multiple lives to prove it. So that means, I'm not saying do that in real life because, well, no problem. There's no way you can do that.
No.
But in this game, you have proof and you understand that it exists and it could exist.
Yeah. Dang, man. What a crazy game.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, do the things you do for everyone else, but do it for us. And come on, just hit it, subscribe, do it.
Or we're gonna continue suffering.
Or we're gonna continue. No, you know what? Just
not with this game.
No. For every person that doesn't subscribe, we're gonna do another episode of another Let's Play of this. Jeez, oh my gosh. I don't think anybody wants that except maybe Enoch.